Alright, in today's video, I'm showing you why women don't want you. They only want your attention and they want you to notice them. I'm also going to explain this to you. I'm going to explain to you in today's video why calling it attention, if you say the words women want your attention, yes, this is true to some degree, but if you tell yourself this might actually hinder your dating results, because attention is probably a weaker word to use than what I'm about to show you, because with these concepts, it's really about understanding them at a deep level, because you have to understand something before you're able to apply it. Let's dive in. So the first thing you have to realize is women do not actually feel anything for you as an individual. You see, this is what guys think, is guys think that when they are texting her and they are talking about, his life to her and you're getting to know her, guys actually think that that means something and that women care. They do not care. Women don't actually feel anything for you as an individual. Okay, so what that means is oftentimes all of the decisions that they make when it comes to their mating or their dating choices, it comes down to these two things. It comes down to your SMV, which is your dating value, and how many other women want you. And then it's going to come down to your popularity and your social status. That's what she's looking at. To her, that is attraction. Okay? You can try to get to know her all you want. You can try to reveal as much information to yourself as you want. All you're doing is giving more certainty, and you're actually decreasing her desire for you. So here's what you have to remember. When they are selecting who they want to date, they either want your genes, okay, and who you are, okay, which dictates her romantic interest for you, or they believe that you can aid in their future survival, and that's it. You can help them satisfy hypergamy either through who you are, okay, and your genes, because that's what mating is essentially, right? Or they believe that you can aid in their future survival to help them satisfy hypergamy and optimize their own future survival, which means if you're bringing resources and popularity and social proof to the table, her aligning herself with you, she knows that that right there gives her a very good chance of future success in her world. So you have to remember this. It purely comes down to what they want. They don't care about what you want. They don't even care about you as an individual. Okay? So their hardwiring is still extremely primal. Despite everything that, people do to try to get to know each other and stuff like that, it still comes down to the main things. Okay? So that means it has nothing to do with getting to know you on a personality level. What you have to remember is they truly only respect indifference. Now, the problem with men is they look at the word indifference from a logical standpoint. So they say the word indifference, and then what they assume that means is not talking very much or not talking to her at all. I'm going to show you in today's video why this is completely wrong, and why how you even categorize the terms of these words and what these words mean in a reflection to your own dating life truly will dictate if you get success in dating or not, because your idea of indifference is probably far different than hers, and I'm going to show you what that means in just a little bit. So what that means is, let's give you an example, okay? They only respect indifference. So you giving commitment, okay? You committing in a relationship, it may be appreciated for her companionship, but this is typically always met with her decrease in romantic desire. She will appreciate having a companion, but naturally, okay, when it comes to her own attraction and how she views you on a romantic level, it is typically meant with a decrease in her romantic desire and her romantic interest for you. So let's move on to this column, okay? Multiple times in my life where, let's say, I asked a woman out on a date or something like that. Okay, this has happened multiple times through the past 10 years. I'm giving you numerous circumstances here, and it all comes down to something like this. There has been multiple times in my life where, let's say, I asked a woman out on a date and I will get no reply. This has happened to me. I know that this has happened to you. This has happened to every single man. Don't ever tell yourself that this doesn't happen to everybody, because this happens to everybody. This will happen to guys who are very tall. This will happen to guys who are rich. This will happen to guys who are good looking. Okay? It's not just you. Every single guy deals with this kind of stuff, okay? Including me, which is why I'm able to make these videos and show you and help you, okay? Every man on planet Earth most likely has had to deal with some kind of rejection, Okay? Nowadays, I've even seen stuff on social media where, let's say, a professional basketball player or a football player will comment something on a different woman's profile saying, you know, check your direct messages or something like that, and she just won't reply, or she'll screenshot it or something like that, and everybody knows that she basically rejected him. So this happens to everybody. Numerous times in my life where, let's say, I've asked a woman out, here's what happens. Okay, let's say I get no reply. Give it a week or two later. Let's say she'll see me out at a restaurant with a different woman, and then instantly within that hour, I get a text message or a call. I am literally sitting at a restaurant with a different woman. This was probably 6 months ago. This is a story. This has actually happened in my dating life. I'm sitting there on a date, and a different woman who I was talking to probably a couple weeks prior, who didn't want to see me, called me 4 times in a row because she was at that same restaurant and watched me on that date. And she saw that other woman now as competition. They truly only want what they can't have, and seeing a different woman have you makes them angry, because now this shows that your SMV and your social status and popularity is higher than she thought it was. That's what it comes down to. Okay, so instantly I got a call and a text. So I will give you another example. Let's say I didn't get a reply, but now all of a sudden, like, let's say somebody took a picture with me on social media and it's on somebody's story, okay, and we're all having fun and having a great time, and she sees that other people are responding well when I'm around. Now all of a sudden I'll get a text message that's like, oh, hey stranger, you know, I've been so busy. I'd love to see you. Something like that. When are you free? It's just instantaneously, it's like, oh, well, now I'm going to give this guy time and make myself available. This is why I'm telling you, like, the way she views you, it's flexible. It's not fixed. I was the same guy with the same amount of personality as I had. I looked the same. I had the same clothes on, you know, or something like that. The only difference is how she viewed me, her perception of you. This is why with a woman, you have to stimulate her mind. Okay? They're not just only looking at you from the physical. It's everything that goes into how they think and how they feel about you. It's up here. It's of the mind, okay? I'm trying my best to explain this, but just stick with me. They feel no love for you as an individual. As soon as you act incorrectly, they feel nothing for you. And once it's over for them, it is completely over forever. Once you do something that lowers their desire to the point where they feel like you are no longer a fit to satisfy their hypergamy, it does not matter if you've been with them for 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, or 10 years, it's over. And she will probably never come back to you ever, until she sees that potentially maybe you were able to attract other women at or above her current level of attractiveness, and now she maybe will see that she made a mistake. But for most men, that is never going to happen. And most men are not willing to put in the work either to figure out how to actually up-level their own social popularity and grow as an individual. So they typically feel no love for you as an individual. Their perception of your SMV is constantly flexible. It's never fixed. So this is why I'm telling you, slowly you're going to see why they only really want you to notice them. This is going to tie back to the title in just a little bit. So here's what men should really start doing. Men need to start to withhold their care and their love and their affection and their desire to even see her, okay, until she has really shown that she wants you and has very high desire. And here's why. I'm going to help you look at this at a different level. There's 2 words that are used a lot when it comes to teaching, when it comes to attraction, that I really don't like. The first word that I don't like is status. The second word that I don't like is attention. The reason why I don't like the word status is because, to me, if you say women are drawn to men of status, to me, this is way too materialistic. I think most guys think of the amount of social media followers that a guy has, and I also think that people look at status as like designer clothes and stuff. And that typically is not what is actually going on when it comes to if she is attracted to you or not, okay? So the word that I like to use instead of status, I like to use the word popularity. Because when people say the word popular or popularity, they typically think about like high school or college. And now it makes sense, right? She needs to see the proof. When you're in high school or college, people didn't typically say the word status. People said, oh, you know, that guy is the athlete, he's popular, okay? That's a better word. because it helps you grasp and understand that you need social proof beyond your bank balance and your designer watch and the amount of followers you have. Okay, the second word that I don't like is the word attention, because I think it's too vague. I think that it doesn't actually describe what it is that is needed to understand how she sees you, okay? And most guys, when they think about the word attention, they typically just think about how many dates they're taking her on, or they think about how much they're text messaging her, okay? Instead of the word attention, I like to use the phrase, she just wants you to notice her. If you shift it to this, now it makes sense, because you withholding your ability to even notice her beauty is what's going to skyrocket her interest level towards you. So you not even noticing her and being indifferent to her beauty makes her feel like you're confident. So guys who appear charming or guys who appear confident, it really is just guys who are not revealing their interest level. Because what most men try to do to appear confident, most guys assume that this means that you should overtly validate and compliment her and show that you have enough courage to basically state your romantic interest to her. And all this does is ruin the mystery that she has, and all this does is lower your dating value or your SMV. So do not do that. You have to understand that when you're using these words, like the word confidence, for example, that can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So it's like once you identify a word, okay, you have to basically now identify what is the terms and definition of that word that we are going to actually use about that word. So that means we're actually using it in the right sense. Okay, because charming to a woman is probably a guy who is withholding care and attention and being a bit indifferent and mysterious so she can't read his interest level. To a woman, that's going to be charming. Now, if you just take a normal dude at the shopping mall or whatever and you ask him for his definition of charming, he might tell you it's a guy who is very comfortable and talkative and talks a lot and all that stuff. See, two different definitions meaning two different things. So when you're talking about attraction, the reason why I think if you're trying to learn is you have to be taught words, not only that matter, but the definition and the terms around those words, so that way you know how to actually apply it. Because I think that that's what's missing in people's dating lives right now is clarity. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of words. There's a lot of terms being thrown around. There's not a lot of clarity. And that's what I try to do with this channel is give you some clarity. So you not even noticing her and being indifferent to her beauty makes her feel like you're confident. So since women's SMV perception of you, okay, so their perception of your dating value, since it's flexible, not fixed, okay, that means men need to realize that majority of women find them unattractive simply because they do not act correctly and are not a challenge. By you acting correctly, since now you're stimulating her mind, this is going to cause her to feel attraction, because with women, it is far beyond just the physical of what they see when it comes to how they view you. Keep that in mind. So obviously I will keep her name private, but she says, "Hi Casey, I came across your YouTube channel and I think you are one of the best out there in terms of explaining attraction dynamics. As I understood it correctly, the perfect behavior for men is showing indifference. And looking back at the men that showed the most indifference towards me were the ones I felt most attracted to." This was an actual direct message that I got. Okay? So what does that mean? Okay, that means women will admit that the only men that they actually desire, crave, and lust after is the men who show indifference to them. This was an actual message I got this morning. So your indifference is a direct representation of your SMV and potentially gives her an idea of the women that you're used to dating. Now, stick with me here. All she really wants is for you to notice her. That's what she wants. She wants you to notice her. By you noticing her, though, you are now giving that validation where she now has certainty. So let me give you an example. Her mind is polar opposite to how you think. Okay, her mind is polar opposite to how you see attraction. She could be at a party and have 5 different guys trying to talk to her. Okay, but because at that party, at that one moment, because she has interest in this one guy over here who doesn't even see her, okay, stick with me here. She could have 5 different guys at a party trying to talk to her. And the whole night, since she's looking at the one guy over there who doesn't even see her, that's the man that she wants. So I have real proof of this type of stuff. I have real proof of this stuff even in my own dating life over the years. So let me show you a few real situations that I've actually heard and I've been through. I was dating a woman over the past probably like 6 months right now. And she said word for word when we were at her house, she goes, once a man crosses me, it's totally over. And I go, crosses you? I go, what do you mean by that? And keep in mind, from what she told me, all of her exes, like her ex-boyfriends, were all good men. So these were men who wanted a future with her. These were men who wanted a relationship with her. These were men who wanted marriage with her. And she left all of them. So I go, well, them being nice to you is crossing you? And she goes, yes. That's what she said. She goes, yes. So this is why I'm telling you, not only do you have to understand the words, okay, but you have to actually understand their interpretation and definition of the words and the terms around it of what they mean. Because most guys, if they hear her say, once a man crosses me, it's totally over, most guys I think would probably assume that that means once a guy treats her poorly. But she meant this the complete opposite. I said to her, I go, so them being nice to you is them crossing you? And she goes, yes. So notice there's communication differences between the whole conversation. There was another woman a couple years ago who I was dating, and I remember this word for word. This is what she said. I liked the attention. When you responded to my direct message, I liked the attention. This is what she said. She didn't say I liked you. She said I liked the attention. Isn't that funny? They don't see attraction the way you see it. So this is why I'm telling you, women don't actually feel anything for you as an individual. Another example would be from today. In my direct messages, the woman saying that men who show indifference are the ones that she was most attracted to. About a month ago, me and my friends were at a party, and there was about 4 or 5 women around us, and they were about between the ages of like 23 to about 25. And they said word for word, they go, I don't know why we are most attracted to the men who don't care about us. This is what they said. Okay, so you hear all this, probably makes sense now that I've described this. Here's where I'm going to throw you a curveball. By the end of this content, by the end of this video right here, there should be one thing going through your mind. And the one thing going through your mind is this. And this is what myself and even other guys who I know could not piece together for the longest time. And the reason being is because we do not see the word indifference the way a woman sees the word indifference. Let me explain. The one thing that I could not piece together for myself, even for years, I struggled with this until I really understood this, okay? I said to myself, if women prefer men who withhold their interest level and don't give them a lot of attention, okay, or let's say they don't notice them, wouldn't that equal that the guy is not talking to them? Doesn't that mean he's sitting there mysteriously? Or he's sitting there all mysterious, not trying to give a lot of validation, not trying to even communicate? Not true. And here's why. Majority of men will typically see this. If you have nightlife in your city where you go look at the clubs, you look at the people out dating or whatever, the popular, outgoing, extroverted socialites tend to attract women quickly. And this will give you a big question mark in your mind because you say, well, they are giving attention, they're communicating. Why is it that he's able to communicate with her, give that attention, or let's say the word notice them, and she responds well to it? Let me give you an example. This causes confusion because most guys go, well, he's all over the place, talking and extroverted, so he's clearly giving attention to the woman. Why is he succeeding? This is what I wanted to know for so many years. And then I finally started to really piece stuff together. I started looking at everything. And then I even paid attention to when I started to attract women at social events in my own dating life. Here's what happened and here's what I noticed. The answer is because that guy is at the cause of everybody else's conversation. He is not at the effect of hers. So what you will notice with these guys, even if they talk a lot, even if they are extroverted, here's what you're going to notice. That guy, the whole time, he is in his own world, having fun with himself and for himself, okay? And the vibe of the party is all he's focused on. He is not focused on her. He is not focused on even attracting her. He is definitely not focused on dating her, and he is not focused on her beauty. And if she decides to date him, or they go out together, or they end up going back home together, or whatever, It's because she saw the social proof of other people responding well to his extrovertedness. But guess what? He probably didn't even have to show any overt interest. So this is what I'm getting at. Most would assume that the indifference would be him not talking to her, and it's just not true. He is still talking to her, he is still extroverted, he is still communicating, but he has not revealed his interest level, and he has not basically shown that he needs to be with her or to date her, and because of that, her interest goes up. The more you focus on yourself, the more you focus on your day-to-day activities that allows you to have fun for you, the better people will treat you socially, the better women will respond to you, and the more dates and dating success you will start to obtain. What I advise you to do is take this a step further. We now have over 1,700 guys inside of our community for a specific reason. Because not only have I been seeing so many guys get success with learning, mastering, and understanding the language of women, but once you start to see dating dynamics, okay, from the methods that I'm showing and the methods that I'm teaching inside of that with an exact step-by-step process that a guy can follow, I know that you will start to look at your own dating life differently, and you will start to see things from a different lens. So that way you, for once, have a process that is predictable, repeatable, and you know that it works. And that's why I made that for you. Join us inside of that. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.